dark art, one that I'm not very good at, nor do I intend to be really good at it. I really enjoy making an ergonomic guitar that plays well. I don't enjoy having a super fantastic finish. Actually, when I say I don't enjoy it, it's not a priority for me. For me, having it play well and be comfortable is really important. The finish, not so important. One of the main reasons is I don't want to be so scared that if I bump this guitar, I'm gonna be angry. I don't want to, hit the guitar with my pick and put scratches all over it and go, oh no, I'm scratching my guitar, and then try and change my technique so that I don't scratch it or whatever. For me, it's a tool that I use, and if it gets covered in scratches, I don't really care. And I don't want to have to care about it. So for me to put, many hours, I mean, I'm putting hours into it anyway, but for me to put, 100 hours into finishing a guitar, not my scene, because then I'm going to get angry when I scratch it. Or bump the headstock into the wall or whatever it is. So for me, it's simply about having a bit of fun, bit of colour, or making it look reasonably nice, but not going into too much detail. And if you've watched my video using the Crimson guitar stains, testing them out on various grits, on maple and pine, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description. I tested out the stains on different grits, and 120 looked good, 240 looked good, 400 looked pretty good, and then above 400 it starts to get blotchy because the pores start to fill in and something weird happens. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. But anyway, one thing I did notice was that scratches and blemishes appear a lot more often. The higher the grit you go, any little blemishes, little scratches, because inside the scratches it's not sanded, they show up because they get darker because they accept more stain. Thinking about that, I thought, you know what, for the body, I'm not going to go over 240. I was going to do 400 for the body, but now I'm thinking about it's just going to make the scratches show up more. I'm just going to do the whole body 240 grit. The neck, well, the headstock I've already sanded to 1200. I put a coating of poly on it, and that seems to have gone okay. It seems to have stuck on, and this top side I haven't coated yet, but the underneath, and you can see the side here is a bit shiny, came up pretty good. So I'm going to put a few coats of that on both sides of the headstock and make that fairly shiny at 1200. The neck itself, I'm also thinking of going to 1200 just to make it really, really smooth. But then I'm just going to coat the neck with linseed oil. The wipe-on poly I'm using is a gloss coating, and I don't want gloss on the back of the neck. Some people like gloss on the back of the neck, a lot of people don't. I'm one of the people who isn't keen on it. So I'm going to put linseed oil on the back of the neck, so it'll still have a coating to give a bit of protection and stop the timber becoming discoloured over time, hopefully. It will darken the neck a little bit though. And I'm going to do that because hopefully that'll make it really nice, smooth neck. But the rest of it, this body will be gloss, the headstock will be gloss, but the back of the neck will be. It'll have a low sheen, I guess. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'm really not set up to be doing finishing. Every time I put the body down on a new surface to sand it, I put more scratches in it. So I've got it hanging up in the middle of my shed here, and I'm going to apply the stain now. I know there are scratches on it, but I'm not set up to deal with it, and I'm also not that fussed. So as you can see, I've got my table outside. I'm just trying to get this on an angle where you can probably see it. There we go. I'm just getting some methylated spirits now just to wipe the thing over and get the sawdust out of the pores and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to apologise in advance for the amount of swearing that will occur if my guitar falls off my little homemade hanger up there. That won't be good, as you can imagine. Okay, pink. Just to clarify at this point, I am using Crimson Guitar's spirit stains, not their water-based stain. So this stain dries almost as soon as it touches the timber. So it's not good for mixing stains on the surface. What you see me doing right now is called feathering. I'm just feathering the edges so that there's no hard lines when I put two colours together. Supernova burst. Oh, I've got some of that yucky marking that I picked up before as well. That's unfortunate. Okay, and same on the back. So some more pink on here. You won't be able to see the one we're doing it on the back, will you? Alright, now. I originally got these syringes for mixing glue, but they should work out fine for the stain. Not mixing glue, for injecting glue into cracks. So let's put some down. You can pour this in, of course, but I'm using this so I don't waste too much stain. I did pour it in when I did my first test with this, but it's you waste too much, end up with too much left over. So what I'm doing here is making purple. Just putting in a fair bit of this magenta. That'll be enough for now. Are you absolutely kidding me? Do not rain. Do not rain on me. Okay, and we're going to put in, so I've put in at least two full ones. I'm going to put in just this much to start with, swirl it around, and you know what? That's probably enough. It's raining only lightly, but I've had to move everything inside. Just so you can see, can you see that? That's our colour. So we've got a rich purple there, so that was basically I think 4 times as much magenta as blue. It was actually about 8 times as much magenta as blue. I had to pre-mix the colours because they just won't mix on a surface. It's not soaking into the timber particularly well, unfortunately. None of this is doing as well as our test pieces, but that's life. Okay, on the other side. Okay, so now this is just to make it so the joins aren't so harsh between the colours. Sand it off. We'll see if we get a little bit. Where it blends in, I'm going to do that last so that I don't pollute the paper towel with another colour and then end up getting it somewhere else on the guitar where I don't want it. What I did there was bad. This is slip, that's why. Now the whole thing's trying to come off. Get back on your little hook. Cute. You should be there. That's better. I knew I planned it properly. Just didn't work out. Like I said, much swearing will ensue if this falls off here. Not so keen on doing this in an enclosed space, it doesn't smell real good. Whew. I might switch the camera off now until I get to the point where I'm blending those two areas in. I forgot to turn the camera back on to show you where I was blending the colours. I'll give you a look at how it finished up in a minute. I was going to do this pink, but it's pink where the pickup is, so I thought I might do the blue, so the pink bursting out from the blue. Anyway. Now, of course, you're either going to love this or hate it, depending on whether you like bright colours on guitars or not. I don't own a brightly coloured guitar, so I'm going for it. Okay, that's that one done. Time to get it down. It's had 6 coats and left it drying for a couple of days. So it's the first time I've seen it in the light. Let's have a look. So, just have a look myself actually. I am very happy with that. The headstock, where we didn't put any colour on, looks absolutely beautiful. That's got the poly. I don't know what is in that wipe-on poly, because I assume by poly there's some sort of plastic in it, but it's oils as well, I think, but I don't know what it is. We've got the neck, has had 6 coats of boiled linseed oil, and so the neck is sort of more matte. Where the two meet, where the poly meets the linseed, is a little bit rough. Where the two blended together, they didn't blend exactly right. So just here, I can feel a little bit of it's a little bit rough. So I'll need to lightly sand that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of our guitar build, and if you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, consider subscribing to Cheapskate, and have a good day.